rigged election. A rigged election. Shame, shame, shame. Diane Anderson, I'm the letter writer for the Canberra Times. The brave letter writer.
Do you think there's any hope now of this future meeting overturning the pre-selection?
Well, I mean, they've both said that they will abide by the result today. But there will be a divisional council meeting, and it's up to the members to get their voting rights up. And if they really believe that we need another election, then we have it in the power to have it, I believe.
So this will be grassroots.
What makes you most upset about this?
I think the fact that Zed put his hand up after all of the meetings were held. If we'd known there were two candidates and that Gary wasn't going to be challenged, as he shouldn't have been, because he's been a really good sitting member, then Tony Abbott has supported him, then he should have put his hand up so that we then had an opportunity to go to a meeting and get the voting rights. A lot of people, you know, don't have the voting rights, so that's what I'm angry about.
Did Zed deal with those issues that came up? We did put them to him, and what did he say, Yvonne? So stressed about it all. Yes, he did what he did because he thought about it at the last minute, and it took a long time to make a decision. So I don't want to say any more.
Hostility in the room at all?
Zed's still up there.
No, is there hostility in the room towards Zed?
Well, there is with us, but there's so many young Liberals that the Liberal Party has been taken over by the young Liberals, and they have a vested interest. They have different desires with what they want in a candidate.
What do you think?
So the older people have to regain control of the Liberal Party, and start coming to meetings for the good of the party. That's all I'm prepared to say.
Thank you.
Hopefully 640 party members will be able to judge what happened here today. If the members who signed the petition wish to proceed with the meeting, we will go ahead.
How many voted here today?
There would have been, at the Senate pre-select, 210. 210 out of 640 members voted today. So it was less than 1 in 3 voted. That was deliberate. The aim was to get the Friends into the meeting, and the good long-term party members were not told about meetings and so did not turn up today because they could not vote. That is not the Liberal way, and if the members who signed the petition want to proceed, it will go ahead. People were not told about meetings. We had conflicts of interest on the committee organising it. People who were making decisions about this pre-selection were employees of pre-selection candidates. That, under the Associations Act, that is illegal, and that will be addressed in the coming weeks. Many people were not told about qualifying meetings. It is a fact that there was not one valid meeting of Zed's own branch in the last 6 months. There was not one valid meeting of the Western Creek branch. Many of the Northern Branch meetings were invalid. There was not one valid meeting of the Longarry branch. There simply were not meetings to attend. And the committee made a decision on the 10th of December to hold this pre-selection. It was kept a secret until the 21st of January, but Zed knew. And Zed knew well before he nominated that he was going to stand, and as Tony Abbott said, this was an ambush. And we consider it was an ambush, and these matters will be laid out there at the party meeting, which will be held in March.
Gary,
if the members
be doing what you're doing.
If the members wanted to proceed.
So you've got how will be over?
No, it's up to the members. It's not up to me. The members will have an opportunity to vote, and there will be a lot more than 210 members in that room. I'm hoping there will be 640 in the room. The people of Canberra deserve a pre-selection where the merits of the candidates are treated fairly.
How will these other...
What does that mean for Zed's campaign? How much support will you get?
Oh, look, we're all Liberals. If this process sees itself through, every party member will unite behind Zed. Everyone, including me. All parties occasionally go through these things, but we have a constitution. If Zed wins the pre-selection, or if Gary wins the pre-selection, if there is another one, then we all unite, because our main task is to defeat the Greens candidate in September.
This has damaged the party, obviously.
No, it hasn't. There's a long way before the federal election. There's another 5 or 6 months, I think. And this will be all forgotten. If there is a new pre-selection, it will be over by the end of end of March, early April. There's still another 5 months to go. We'll make sure that we have the best and most supported candidate going forward in the election.
Thank you.
I'm sad after a very long career in politics to have to bow out, but one's time is up sooner or later, and obviously today the view of members is that my time is up.
Were you ambushed?
I'm going to make a statement, Ross, and then I'm sorry I'm not going to take any questions today. I do want to hope that the party can now turn to the important task of winning an election in September. There is a much bigger enemy facing us, and that is the Labor Party. The people of Canberra need a representative, and they need one in the next government of Australia. That, I think, will be a Liberal government. It's very important that the people of Canberra have a representative inside that government, a person working for them to make sure that that government works in their interests and in their favour. I want to thank all the members of the Liberal Party today who came to participate. I would have wished that there were more members of the party able to take part, but I accept that the members have spoken. I want to thank them all for taking part in this important process. As a practitioner of democracy, I have to accept that sometimes democracy doesn't work exactly as you want it to work, but I'm very grateful that I had the chance to put my case to my colleagues in the Liberal Party. Thank you very much.
Gary, can we just clarify, you're going to support the petition process?
I'm not going to answer any questions. Thank you.
I don't know. I don't think so. So Zed, how does it feel to topple a man who's been a loyal servant to the party in the Senate for 10 years?
Well, look, I'm obviously, the first thing I would do is pay tribute to Gary. I think that what we've had today is an exercise in democracy. It is a clear result from the party, and I'm humbled by it. I will do my best to honour the support that I've been given by my party. We've always got a big job to do. I look forward to that job. These processes are difficult, there's no doubt about it. Democracy sometimes is difficult, it can be messy. I think what's really important is what we do from here. I think the party has given a clear indication today as to who they want to represent them as their #1 Senate candidate. As I say, I'm very humbled by that, but I will pay tribute to Gary Humphries. I pay tribute to the members inside as well. I think it was handled very well. I think there were disagreements, there are strong views on all sides, but I think all members handled themselves very, very well in what is a difficult process for the Liberal Party.
A lot of Gary's supporters came out and complained that he was rigged and corrupt. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think to Gary's credit, I think Gary has not supported those type of claims, and I think that what we've seen is a process which goes through our constitution. In the end, we've seen these processes many times in the Liberal Party. Proportionally, I think this pre-selection was very similar to previous very large pre-selections. The reality is the active membership of the Liberal Party has their say. That's what our constitution says. Our constitution has been followed to the letter, and what we've seen, I think, is a very clear result from the party, and I'm particularly pleased about that.
There are a lot of very angry people.
Well, I obviously put forward a couple of areas where I think we can significantly improve. I do think that we need to secure that Senate seat and make it a less vulnerable seat than it has been in recent years. I think that we've shown at a local level what we can do to the challenge of the Greens. We've shown that we can get more votes than the Labor Party. That should be our aim in the Senate as well. That may take a couple of terms, but certainly I believe that grassroots focus, being true to who we are as Liberals, is not only the right path, but it's also the best path for electoral success.
Does that mean that Gary Humphries is being too moderate?
Well, look, other people will make those kind of judgments. I don't think it's about that. I think it is about the reality of what kind of support we can get in the community. And certainly the message I gave to Liberal Party members as I was calling them over the last few weeks and in this room today was that we can do better, that the Greens really shouldn't be a threat to this Senate seat, that we should be attacking Labor, not squabbling with minor parties.
Given that you have had no experience in government at either the local or federal level, unlike Gary, what can you bring to that spot that he hasn't been able to?
I think there's a number of things, but I think the first and most important I'm going to bring is just to be a good grassroots member. That is, I think, the most important thing for the Liberal Party here in Canberra in the Senate. I think that we need to treat it in that way, and that's certainly what I want to bring to it. Now, we're going to be different characters, we're going to bring different levels of experience and the like, but my party has entrusted me with this honour. I will go to the electorate in the same way that I've been to the electorate in the past, and I'll ask them for their support. I will focus on their issues and on serving them, lowering the cost of living, lower taxes. These are the sorts of things that I think Liberals do stand for, that Liberals want to see, but there is a lot of support in the community for that, not just from rusted on Liberal supporters.
Can you tell us what the actual figures were?
Look, I thought they were announced, but they were certainly announced publicly. I think it was. I'm just not sure if it's appropriate for me to do that. It's not sort of my role, but I'm sure you can get that number.
We're waiting for someone who says it is their role. Someone has to be able to give us the figures.
I respect the party's processes, and it certainly was announced in the room. So there are hundreds of people who know the result, but it's not up to me to make that public announcement.
Are you confident this result will hold? Just talk of another meeting in a few weeks that may overturn what's happened today.
Yeah, look, I am, and as I say, it was a very clear result, and I think that will send a very clear message to the party members. Look, there may be processes to go through internally. Whatever those processes are, we'll deal with those. The Liberal Party has robust processes, democratic processes. I look forward to those should they go ahead.
Was it a fair process?
Yes, it was.
Gary Humphries in the past has crossed the floor to vote in support of basic these rights. Is that the kind of courage that you have? Would you consider doing that?
Well, look, I'm not going to preempt those sorts of issues. All I would say is there is no issue that I've seen from the coalition in the last few years that would have caused me to cross the floor. So I would have made a different decision in terms of Gary Humphries' decision to cross the floor. He and I take a different approach to that. So you can't absolutely rule it out, but what I would say is it would be unlikely and certainly very, very rare, if at all.
If you make it up the hill, what would be the first thing you say to Tony Abbott when he meets you as a senator? Well,
look, I'm not going to preempt those things. First thing I need to do is now win the support of the ACT community for the Senate. Certainly I would hopefully congratulate him on being Prime Minister.
And what would you ask him about jobs in Canberra?
Well, look, I'll be making the case for Canberra, there's no doubt about it. And, you know, like I would, should we be in opposition, and we see what Labor is doing at the moment, but I would also want to see how there's going to be an improvement for Canberra, because I don't think that this dysfunctional Labor government federally is good for Canberrans. I don't think it's good for anyone.
Have you had much contact with Tony Abbott ahead of that?
Not in recent days, no.
When you're making the case for Canberra, do you think you have the same clout as Gary Humphries?
Well, look, that remains to be seen. All I would say is that I will work very, very hard to serve my community. I will work very, very hard to win their support, and in the end, I'll be judged on that.
There's obviously some bad blood just among the membership here today. How are you going to go about trying to heal those rifts?
Well, look, I've been in this position before. In 2007, when I took over the parliamentary leadership, the Liberal Party was in a difficult place. This is nothing like that. This is nothing like that. So I think we are in a far better place. Yes, there are some members who are not happy. That's a democratic party. When you have a debate like this, when you have a contest like this, there will be some people who are not happy with the outcome, and I respect that. They're entitled to their views, but the Liberal Party, what it does well is it then comes together, and I'm sure Gary will do that, and I'm sure others will do that, to make sure the Liberal cause is promoted here in Canberra.
Was it time for generational change?
Well, I certainly made the case that this is about renewal for the Liberal Party. You know, there's never a perfect time for this. There's never an easy time for renewal. These things are hard, but I believe it's the right time, and I'm pleased that my party agrees with me.